Good evening, everyone. Please, may I know if my screen can be seen and I can be heard with a thumbs up? Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Let's begin today's section. Thank you, Monica. Let's begin today's section. And before we do, I want us to have a little recap on what we had as a way of trying to eat up into time for others who are now trying to join and others who were not with us the last time to also have a feel of what we had with our first step instead of before we take our second step to move forward. All right, so let's have a recap. Now, in our last meeting, we did look at section 1 of DCIT 104, and then I had the privilege of teaching great men and women on through this platform. And what we looked at was the objectives we had a look at was we wanted to know what programming is, who a programmer is, and what a programming language is. We also had a look at the history of programming languages, right, and how they have evolved with time. And we came to appreciate certain things that we must know as programmers, as in the traits we must have or possess as a programmer. And then we also looked at some of the job opportunities that are out there for us as programmers. And we really did we had an interactive class the last time, and then I'm praying that today too we will do the same as we did the last time we met, because you can see that when a class is really interactive, it really helps. All right, so let's not just be there. At least your reactions go a long way for me to know that you're understanding what I'm teaching, because that is the purpose of me being here, and you as well. So that is that. Let's move on to what we have to do for today. Time is already gone, as we didn't really start on time. We started at 7:10 instead of 7 o'clock exactly, because I was now setting up my system. My apologies for that. Now let's begin. So today's section, we are going to look at how a problem should be solved in the whole field of programming, all right, and trying to communicate with a computer how we are going to solve a problem, all right. But my question today is why should a problem be solved, all right? Why should a problem be solved? And what is the essence of solving a problem? After all, we can just leave it there. As they say, problem comes and problem go by themselves. But there are some problems that needs attention and they have to be solved. All right, you can't just tell me that if you walk up to your house and you see that your house is on fire, you stand there quietly and say that, oh, problem coming, problem goes. So let me wait for the fire to go by itself. We all know how it will result into. So you have to solve such a problem. All right, you don't wait for the fire to spread all over the house and then consume the entire building. All right, so that is the whole concept of what we are coming to do here as programmers. Okay, now we are going to look at the beginning. That is the beginning involved when it comes to solving a problem. All right, well, when we are solving a problem, what are some of the beginning processes we have to go through to solve the problem? Please bear with me if I'm moving too fast, and please raise your hand if I'm doing that you're not really getting what I'm trying to say. If you are to, a thumbs up will do. All right, so that we can proceed smoothly. Okay, now let's quickly move on into what today. Let's look at the objectives that we are supposed to meet at the end of today. Today we are going to explain the problem solving process, all right, used to create a computer program. Remember, computer programs are set of instructions, all right, that are the computer runs to perform a task, and those tasks are geared towards fixing or solving a problem of a computer user. Are you okay? So if we are trying to look at the processes involved, all right, to solve the problem, we must relate it to the fact that we are solving the problem based on the concept of creating a program to do that. All right, we can't solve the problem, but we can create a program to run on the computer to be able to solve that problem. So that's what we are looking at. Okay, so we are going to explain the problem solving processes used to create a computer program. Then at the end of the day, we are also going to analyze the problem. In our last session, I made mention of the fact that there's a lot that goes into analyzing a problem, even to the extent of making the problem your own. All right, sometimes, as I stated in our last section, unless it is your own, you will not know how to really go about it. All right, so when I come to that, I'm in need of this, I'm in need of, if you don't put yourself in my shoes, all right, you will not be able to produce a very effective program that will be able to meet all the needs that are required. All right, because if you don't put yourself in the individual shoes, you won't be able to relate well. So all these things goes into analyzing a problem. All right, all these things goes into analyzing a given problem. Please a moment. All right, let's continue. So all this thing goes into analyzing a, as I stated. All right, now we are going to look at what an IPO chart is, and then we are going to look at how to complete one. All right, we are going to plan an algorithm. All right, using this word. I will not try to pronounce it because I've been taught so many times on. You can laugh at me. I don't really mind though. I've been taught so many times on how to pronounce this word, but I've tried and tried and tried, and every time I always end up pronouncing it wrongly. All right, so if you will help us by pronouncing it anytime you meet this word, kindly raise your hand so I will mute your hand. So anytime you meet the word, and I know I will depend on, okay, Vida, thank you. You are my lifesaver. Vida, thank you. Let me unmute you so that you can pronounce the word for me every time we come across it. Because I don't want to try and you laugh at me. Okay, Vida, please help us. I've allowed your mic.
Pseudocode.
Pseudocode, thank you. Thank you. I'll try and learn it from you after the class. Okay, so we are going to look at how to plan an algorithm using this. Vida, let's go.
Using pseudocode.
Okay, and flowcharts. Okay, thank you very much. Then we're also going to look at how to desk check an algorithm. All right, now when it comes to desk checking, before we even go into it, let me step on your toe now. All right, desk checking comes in two folds. We desk check an algorithm, and then we desk check the coded instructions as well. That's the program itself. So when we get there, you really tend to appreciate it. All right. For now, let's have this two in our head. That when it comes with desk checking, all right, it comes in two folds, not only an algorithm. Okay. So now let's proceed. Now, when we talk about problem solving, in anybody who can help us with his own understanding on what problem solving is, all right, just a brief definition, your own life experience on what problem solving is, you can raise your hand and then give us your contribution. I'll be very happy if you can do that. Okay, let's continue then. So when we talk about problem solving, all right, now in our everyday lives, we tend to solve problems. I think I see somebody's hand up. Please, did somebody raise their hand up a moment ago? Richard, okay, let me unmute you, allow your mic so that you can talk. Okay, please help us.
Okay, so a problem solving is a need or a situation that must be solved and satisfied. Yeah, that's my point of view.
Okay, so it is the need for a situation that must be, that must be what?
That must be solved and satisfied.
And satisfied. Okay, okay. Thank you very much for your contribution. I really do appreciate your contribution. Now, he's absolutely right. All right, he's absolutely right when we come to solving problems. All right. Now, as I stated earlier, problems in everyday life, in our everyday life, is actually related to what we want to achieve. Let me repeat myself. We only meet a problem based on the fact that we are not able to achieve something. So solving a problem is actually creating a path to achieve something. Let me put that one. If you want to go to school and you don't have school fees, what do you think your problem is? All right, you get the concept. So if somebody comes to you and gives you money, the person has solved the problem. Do you hear what I'm saying? The person has created a path for you to go to school now. Okay, for you to achieve going to school. So if you didn't have the aim or the motive of going to school, will going to school be a problem for you? All right, it won't be. That's I just want you to understand the fact that problems come into place based on the fact that we are not able to achieve certain things. Are we okay? Or certain things are being deprived from us from achieving. So that becomes a problem. Something that puts a kind of like a burden on you is a problem. Okay. So if I want to send a message to somebody outside, but I don't have the means to do that, then my problem is I'm not able to what? Stay in contact or be in contact with somebody outside. So if somebody wants to help me, the person will create a program that will be allowing me to do that. And by so doing, the person has what? Helped me achieve what I want to do. And in other words, the person has solved my problem. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? So if, for instance, I didn't have the aim of trying to reach to somebody outside the country, then I didn't have that problem. You understand? So I just want you to really understand that. Richard, your hand is still up. The mic is allowed. If there's anything you want to say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's proceed then. So please, if you really get what I'm trying to say, you can give me a thumbs up, all of you, so I know that you really understand what I'm trying to say by what the problem is. Okay, a problem is the lack or your inability to achieve something. All right, because if the thing is not something you want to achieve and you are not able to achieve it, it won't be a problem. You get it? So that is why we need to solve these things, because the solving of it is the only way you achieve it. Do you understand? The solution to it is the only way you achieve it, and that's the only way you feel satisfied and content with what you want to achieve. Okay, so that is the whole concept of um, what I'm talking about. And I really wish that you really understand what I'm trying to say. So let's try and read what they say. They said a problem, people solve hundreds of simple problems every day without even thinking about how they do it. All right, and then sometimes getting out from bed is a problem. I know I'm speaking somebody's language right now. Sometimes getting out from bed becomes a problem. And I know people can really relate with what I'm saying, especially during this weather. Okay, when you are getting up to go to work at 5 o'clock, sometimes you'll be like, let me sleep small, let me sleep small, let me sleep small. It's a problem, all right? And the only way you will be able to achieve getting out from bed is when you actually get out from bed. You understand? And so many people have so many tactics of getting out from bed. Some people set an alarm that rings every minute just to disturb them enough to get out from bed. All right. And that particular process of something being done, all right, to help you achieve you getting out from bed, that is problem solving. All right. So sometimes we do it without really knowing that we have solved a problem. Sometimes the problem is so much on us that we solving it is the only way out. So we actually know what we are doing when it comes to solve. Sometimes we don't know that we don't really acknowledge the fact that we are solving a problem in our life, because it becomes like an everyday activity. All right. But remember, everyday activity that you have is geared towards achieving something. All right. And if you have been able to achieve whatever, that means your problem has been solved. So your everyday lifestyle that is geared toward achieving something, all right, that achievement you have at the end of the day is because you have solved the problem. What if you fail to do it? What if you fail to bath? What if you fail to brush your teeth? What if you see at the end of the day, then the problem is there. Your mouth will smell, your body will smell. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. So that is that. So even bathing and all these things, we are solving problems. You don't know. Because we really don't appreciate them, because we have made it like an everyday task that we do. Okay. So understanding the thought process involved can help in solving more complex problems. So if we understand how come I was able to just get up from my bed, do this, then we can also understand how complex problems can be solved. Right? Because a complex substance is built from simple substances. I'm sure some people will argue, but let's be factual here. All right, let's even let's come down to our own understanding, like in the form of, let's take digestion. All right, we know that the body can't accept this complex food pattern. So it goes a long way of breaking it down. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? Into simpler forms, so that simple absorbable forms by the body. But let me go back to my science class. We know that we should understand the fact that, all right, even if you leave dirty water to settle, when and it forms that kind of settlement on it, you realize that at first all those particles were spread across the water in its tiniest form until they all settled together to form a complex structure under the water. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So we all agree to the fact that our simple problems that we solve every day without even noticing about, if we leave them to pile up without solving them, it will end to a complex problem. All right, so understanding how come you were able to solve these simple problems will also go a long way to aid you in solving these complex ones when they come along. Okay, because you can now break down these complex ones to simple forms and then be able to tackle them like as if they were your everyday life activity. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you do, please give me a thumbs up that you can really relate with what I'm saying. All right, thank you very much, Joshua. Thank you. All right, Father, thank you. So let's proceed. So you can also use a similar process, all right, a similar process to design a computer solution, all right, to a problem, or what we call as a computer program, all right, the one that the computer can be able to run because of the set of instructions you have given to it, all right, or that has been used for creating that program that the computer do understand. I'm emphasizing on that because the computer has to understand what you are written, all right, to be able to execute it. All right, so we use this whole idea in the field of programming as well. Okay, in the field of programming as well. It's not anything too my best friend will say canvas. It's not anything too difficult. It's something very simple. All right, we have to understand the fact that every complex situation came from a simple one. All right, and sometimes it becomes complex because we allow the simple ones to pile up. Right? Imagine if you have a tear in your like your trouser is torn, all right, and it's not torn really that big, and you're like, oh, because it's not big, I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll fix it tomorrow. Keep on postponing. Keep on. By the time you realize, all right, what a small stitch could have fixed, you will now be finding a whole long thread to fix it. And what a simple time within a time of 2-3 minutes could have just finished, will now be using an hour or two just to fix that same problem because you waited for it to pile up. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Good. So let's continue. So solving everyday problems. All right, so the first step, let's look at the first step involved. Right, the first step in solving a problem is, first of all, you have to analyze. All right, this word entails a lot. That's why it's the first thing. Right, there's not the word just as it is, but it goes through a whole lot of process when we come to analyzing something. And like my last lecture with you, I kind of like took my time to explain what analyzing something actually goes, what goes into analyzing something. You understand? So example, let's take paying and mailing a bill. All right. Now, this has been how can paying something and mailing something be a problem? All right. And I told you that these things is a simple, like we see it to be nothing because, first of all, it's like our part of our everyday life. You want something, you have to pay for it. Do you understand? If I'm sure you can believe what I'm trying to say, but imagine if, sorry to say, you don't pay, you get the thing item again, you don't pay. Now, in words itself, what are you piling up for yourself? Who can help us? All right, you don't really accomplish your everyday task of
Debt.
paying for something. You have, yes, thank you. Father, please, can you take it again?
Debt.
Think you are building for yourself a huge amount of debt, and then you realize that that huge amount of debt becomes a complex problem. Now you have to what? Instead of just something you in your everyday life you have been fixing, you left it there, and then it has become something that will take you a very long time to clear away. Do you understand? Or go through a tedious procedure to find a huge amount of money just to clear that thing away. Meanwhile, if it was your everyday life that you were going about doing it every day, that problem, that complex problem won't be there at the end of the day. So I hope you can really relate to what I'm trying to say. All right. So the first thing that goes into solving a problem, you have to analyze it. ask yourself this question. So if I don't solve the problem, what will be the next effect in the next maybe 3 or 4 years to come? What is going to happen if I keep this problem still there? That all of this goes into analyzing it. Do you understand? First of all, who am I solving the problem for? Myself, for somebody? What is the person trying to achieve? All these things goes into analyzing the problem. All right, understanding the problem and why it's in existence is very important. It's very, very important. You understand? So that is one. The next thing is that you have to plan, review, implement before you execute the solution. So let's take them one after the other and then really, really understand what they mean. Okay. So why do I have to plan? What is planning? All right. When we talk about planning something, who can help us? Like plan. Interactive class. Who can help us with plan? I say plan in your own ways. It does not have to be from book, just from your own life experience. If you can help us with what planning. Okay. In theory, but if I'm mentioning your name right, let me unmute you to speak. Let me allow your mic. In theory, please, you're allowed. If I pronounce your name right. Hello, Interior. Okay, yeah, I think he's not ready to speak. I've unmuted you, so anytime you want, you can hear us and you would like to give your contribution, please do. Okay, thank you. Now, to plan something, all right, there's a saying that I'm sure most of you or all of us here do know, that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, and this even goes a long way to explain what I'm talking about. All right, you might think that, oh, I'm leaving it there, nothing is not. You are actually doing something. What you are doing is that you are actually planning towards a bigger failure, just by the fact that you are doing nothing about it. You are actually planning towards a bigger disgrace in the form of your trousers. Take it to the back there. Why you? Oh, let me leave it. It's nothing. It's not really noticeable, right? Let me just leave it. You failing to plan, all right, to do something about it, actually you are actually planning to fail. A bigger disgrace is coming your way, all right, whereby you just quit one day and everything is out there. Do you understand? So please, I know I'm saying some people's story, but I'm not attacking anybody personally. Okay, so like, I hope you really understand what I'm saying. All right, you go down there one day and then you see everything is now showing. Now you realize that you have actually achieved something for yourself, a bigger failure, because you plan to fail. Do you understand? Just because you failed planning, you have actually planned towards that present failure and disgrace you have found yourself in. If I can see you, then all of a sudden regret starts to come in. All right. So when we are talking about planning something, okay, what I'm just trying to say is that you have to look at what may happen if you fail to do that. That's the first thing that goes into planning something. First of all, what are you trying to solve? Okay, I'm come to put down a building. All right. Then all of a sudden, you go and buy the land. Meanwhile, all you had was money for land. You didn't even think about the prices of iron rods and how they are increasing over time, the prices of cement and how they are increasing. You didn't plan, you didn't talk, nothing. All you had was build the land. The first thing I need is build a house. The first thing is availability of. You just went, you bought the land without thinking about what goes into the structure you are putting. Please, what are you doing to yourself at the moment? You have just given yourself a burden. All right, it get to a point, people will be fighting over the same land with you because you even fail to protect it. You understand? You have, before you go about executing something, you have to plan. Tactical people do that. Tactical people always do that. People that do not want later on problems always sit down a moment and plan. Joshua. Joshua.
Yeah, Freeman. Thank you. So, what if I plan and I don't have resources?
Good. Look, it's better. Look, we all plan for our lives every day, but we don't have resources to achieve them, and we can all testify to that fact. That is not even all our plans that have come into action. But it is very important we do that so that when the resources become available, you know how you go about your way. You don't wait for the resources to be available before you start to plan. I hope you are getting the concept, Joshua. You may not have what it takes at the moment, but that does not mean you shouldn't plan towards it. All right, I do, as I'm sitting here with you, I'll be frank with you. I do not have what it takes to put down a building. But that does not mean that I should sit down just like that. If I really want to attain a structure called building, then I have to start it now. Even though I don't have the resources, I'll plan. Oh, we all see things that we like. Well, this is how I want my future house to be. How did you know? Because in your mind, you have planned that. This is how you want your future house to look like. You know, so it's very important that you plan. Planning is not execution. Planning is the foundation of everything. All right. So it is very, very evident that if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. You can all agree to that fact because it is the foundation of it. If you don't build the foundation of a structure, well, what happens? The structure will be up all right, but what will happen later on? Do you understand? It won't really end well. Right? So planning is the first, is when it comes to after analyzing the problem, trying to understand the problem. All right. Now the first most important thing you have to plan. Now remember, there comes a review. When we say we all learned prefixes and suffixes, okay, we know that whenever we put re in front of a word as a prefix, it means you are doing that action again. So let's not get review confused. Review simply means that you have had a view at it, just that you are doing it again. All right. So the review happens after the planning because planning is actually viewing it. Reviewing is actually going through the plan again. I hope you are following. If you are following, like a thumbs up or something. Like planning is the action. Reviewing the plan is that you are doing the thing again. All right. Why? Because it's not. That's why there is a plan. There's a saying that goes that if plan A fails, there are what 25 more letters to go. All right. Why? How come there are 24 more? Because you review plan A. All right. And realize that plan A may have this tendency of failing, and if it does, plan B should set in. Are you following? And if plan B should also fail, then there should be a review for a plan C. In case, okay, B goes wrong this way, then let C also set in. So this also goes into your code, actually. If the user does not enter A and enters B, then the user is trying to solve a problem related with B. So code, do this. Instruction, do this rather. Are you following? So like reviewing something is very, very important. In other words, we are desk checking it. You get there. Now, after you have reviewed, then you implement the first one. It might be the only plan, but you implement it. What goes into implementing something? I want to implement something. Who can give us another word for a synonym for the word implement? If I say I want to implement something, it's a verb. Anybody? I know, but now we are googling. Let's go fast. Let's. I want the class to be. I don't want it to be only me. Okay, let's go. I have one hand up now. Let me allow your mark. Joshua, please you can speak. Champion.
Execute.
Good evening. Execute. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate. Monica. Okay, I've disabled them. Let me allow you. Monica.
I was
Monica.
going to say execute, but then he has said it. It also means to carry on.
To carry on. Thank you. Joshua, Anna. Hey, so your mic is already enabled. Joshua.
Apply.
Apply. Very good. All these words are correct. Let's see how they will fit into the slide. Okay. Now, I've learned over something. That maybe it's the only plan I did. I never did plan A, plan B, but I did only plan A. Let's take that one for the purpose of these studies. Then I review the plan. Reviewing the plan is that we are considering certain things that are in the plan, or we are just checking if maybe something has goes wrong with this plan. What other way should I go about it? Do you understand? In that same plan, all right? Good. Now, after you have done these two things, how will you know whether they will succeed or they will fail? How will you know whether they will succeed or they will fail? Somebody should just unmute his sorry, Michael, raise your hand. And then Joshua, your hand is still up. You can tell us. How will you know that whatever you have planned and reviewed will succeed or fail? Okay, Joshua, you can unmute.
Unless you've executed the thing before.
Okay, so unless you apply, you execute, you run it, are you okay? Then if the compiler tells you that, hello, online this, your plan did not really work according to my logic, then you have to go about ways of what? Solving it again, trying to fix it. Are you okay? So we are all agreeing to the fact that in the process of solving a problem, there can be a problem. Please, who agrees to that? You can just raise your hand if you do, and then put your hand down later. If we are all going to agree, we can all agree to the fact that even in the process of solving a problem, there can be a problem. Good. I like your reactions. It really helps. All right. It makes me know that you are following. So after I've planned something, I've reviewed it, and I'm implementing it. It might be the probabilities are two. It's that it will go smoothly as I have planned and reviewed, or alongside implementing the thing, I will meet another problem. All right. And in this life, let me tell you this for now. In the field of coding, everything is about perspective. How you decide to see things. All right. How you decide to see things. It's about perspective. If the code fails to run, and you think that, oh no, no, it's about your perspective. You have to start to view things in a different way. All right. What if it went through? Okay, then what? Now you didn't go through. Now I have found out a way that it won't work. That is, I've been looking at something from a different perspective. Are you okay? So failure in your first attempt does not mean that the problem cannot be solved. All right, it's a different perspective that will help you. Look at it, means that you have rather succeeded in finding a different way that the problem cannot be solved. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I wish you can really relate to what I'm trying to say. So let's proceed. So now that I have implemented it, all right. Now the last part says that I have to evaluate the solution. Now remember, now that you look at the sentence, look at it very closely. You get to realize that we don't say evaluate the problem, because after I have, in the process of implementing, I am expecting that at the end of the day, the problem will cease to be a problem. It has now become solved. It has now become solved. That is, if the implementation part goes as I want it to be, then I will say that my problem has now become solved. So what I have for you now is a solution. What I have for you that came to me with a problem is a solution. You came to me with a problem. I created a plan. I reviewed it. I implemented it. All right. Then at the end of the day, it worked out. So what do you have for the person now? Do you still have a problem? You have a what? A solution to the problem. So right now we can't say we are come to still evaluate the problem, provided that the implementation part went as it should be, it should do. Everything went as it's supposed to be. Then our main focus now is on the fact that we have a solution. But even with let's all also agree to this. No, let's disagree to agree, or agree to disagree. Either one of them. Right? But let's all come to a simple mind that a solution can end up being the beginning of another problem. And if you don't really get me, you can raise your hand and let me go ahead and explain why. Why a solution to a problem can become the beginning of another problem. That's why there is a need. Oh, even though it is, yes, it has solved your problem, but that shouldn't be all. What if it is going against somebody who is also using the program?
That is why in everything there is a minority and there is a majority. It might work out perfectly for the minority, so it might look like as if though you have solved the problem, but that thing might be stepping on the toes from the minority, and to them it's the beginning of another problem. I hope we can all relate to what I'm saying. So there is a need to evaluate a solution in a way. In the whole concept of evaluating and re-evaluating a solution is to try and make it user friendly for everybody, or solve the problem for everybody that has the problem, and not go the long run of creating another problem. You will be surprised that where I work, for instance, all right, I stated the fact that they created this app that allows us to input children results and everything into the system. All right, we are not going to do hard papers anymore. Everything is now soft copy. Parents can access it at any. Oh, this is a good thing. Please, we all agree to the fact that it's a good thing. It even makes record keeping quite easier and easy to access, instead of rats eating up our papers and all these things. Now we have it somewhere that's literally indestructible. All right, this is a good implementation. But have you thought about the parent that sorry to say they don't use smartphones? How would they also access their children's report? The YAM users, let me be specific, the keypad. Now, along the term, they also came alongside online assignments where the child goes home, like what we do at Sakai, and at the end of the week there's an online. What about the child that the parent does not even know how to even have access to internet? Only maybe put yes on network. So that kind of a child, like how would the child, at the end of the day, we are failing the child, because the child will not be able to do the work, and it will go a long way to affect the child performance. It will be like boom, but no, I lose it 20 months, baby. So we can all agree to the fact that even though the thing is a good thing, generally it might be a problem for some people. So there is a need to evaluate something. When they came to us to let us give our grievances as to the software they created, the first thing I said was that my time might be going against me as a teacher to enter children report, and I might not have internet. No, I don't have money to buy internet connection. So should it be that I will not be able to perform my task at that moment? Because at first, if I had no internet or not, I just pick up a pen, write it on a report card, and then I'm good to go. What about that? And I never planned that this will come and eat into my salary, and I have to buy data. And then you know what the man told me? He said that thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for letting us know that our solution is not all. We will get back to you. And really, they go back to me. Do you know what they created for the system now? What it is that now you can enter the child's report, save it like as if you are saving something on your machine, on the system. You can save it and later have it uploaded when the system gets. So now everything was done in the computer lab. So internet or no internet, and found the enter. Later on internet bar, the thing itself will upload. So now at the end of the day, you see what after evaluating the solution they gave me, they have found a more tactical way to deal with the problem. Again, even though at first what they gave us was a solution, all right, but now it became a problem for some of us, and then they have solved that again. Why? How did they get to that? They evaluated the solution. They didn't say that, oh, because it has solved what the person brought to be, then it ends there. No, they were, at the end of the day, it may go against some people. So then there is a need for us to do evaluation of that solution. Let's go back to them. Let's tell them, as they have used the thing, yes, it's good, but how is it affecting them negatively as well? So please, I hope you can relate with what we mean by evaluating a solution. Thumbs up if you do. All right, thank you very much. Wow, there are powerful people here. All right, let's continue. And then after this, all right, it may be necessary to modify the solution. So that's what they did to me. After they evaluated, they came to me, they told me that, okay, we are not the one using the program that we have created. You are the one using it. We try to fit in your shoes as much as we can, but we can't ignore the fact that you might still have some problems related with the what? The solution we have brought to you. So now, please, then after they told me that, thank you for letting us know. We will get back to you. And then indeed they did. How did they get back to me and then solve my problem with the solution that came, which still created a problem for me? They went and they modified the system. They modified the program in such a way that now I will have no complaint. Initially, maybe they wouldn't have taken my problem as part of the things when they were trying to solve the initial problem. But as the solution came to me, the solution created another problem that needed modification. So as I told them, then they went back and then worked on it, as if though the solution was a new problem altogether. Let's proceed. If there are any questions you can ask. Is there any question? All right. There are no questions. Then let's proceed. So let's look at this picture over here. All right. So let's look at an algorithm. We all agree to the fact from our previous meeting that an algorithm is not actually the code. All right. These are written instructions step by step. That's why you can see them being numbered in a particular sequence. All right. That you have to follow in order to accomplish a task. Right. We are following to accomplish a task. Are we okay? So that's an algorithm. All right. So we all agree that at the end of the day, we want to pay a bill. All right. These are the items needed to pay a bill. All right. This one's here, the items needed to pay, and these are the algorithm we are going to use these items, all right, to follow a step-by-step procedure in order to pay a bill. Do you understand? We can look at this diagram and really appreciate it without really talking much. All right, the items used to accomplish the goal. All right, then the algorithm, the step-by-step procedure in order to accomplish the goal. And at the end of the day, we want to accomplish the goal. Okay. All right, so these are the things, and also so it's like indirect. It's like we are saying we are planning something. We plan something. Let's go back to it. All right, planning something is also looking at the items needed. All right, when you are saying we are planning something, the items needed, who is going to use it, all this thing goes into the planning. Are you okay? Even where it is going to be located, how it's going to run, what kind of software is going to be compatible for it, what kind of that I'm talking about operating systems. So what kind of machine versions are going to be able to run this? Is it going to be available on phones? All this thing goes into the planning. All right, these are the items needed. All right, then we write an algorithm. All right, that will help us to accomplish the task. Okay, then at the end of the day, after implementing it, we want to see if at the end of the day we can be able to pay the bill. And if we pay the bill, at the end of the day, it affected somebody, or maybe some obi bottom like charges. All right, you might, oh, you're saying this can in follow the steps. You're saying this can in Uncle Chia, bottom, whose charges? You understand? So even though at the end of the day the bill has been paid, it went against somebody. So next time when you are taking the bills from people, make sure that you tell them that please add their charges. So that when it gets to the person who is paying the bill, he or she will also not face another problem when it comes to the solution. Now you have given him the money. Yes, you have solved this problem. He's going to pay the bill. But now he also has another problem from your solution. That's the charges he's going to face. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I know Joshua will give me the reaction for the understanding. So Joshua, I'm waiting for you. Thank you, Joshua. Let's proceed. Okay, thank you, Joshua again. There are two Joshuas here, so let's proceed. Now, let's look at this one too. It's actually the same thing. All right, it's literally the same thing. Okay. Now let's look at this one. They said the initially this was the step-by-step procedure that you had to go through to pay the bill. All right. So we use the pen to fill the blank check date, pay numerical amount and written amount. Use the pen to sign the blank check. Use the pen to write the customer account number on the blank check. Put the return address label on the what word is this? I don't know. Envelope. Put the postage stamp on the envelope. Then all this. Now look at this. It's the same algorithm, but there has been a modification. If are you all noticing the fact that that means that at this solution, somebody came along meeting the problem. So then came an if. All right. If that person or another group of people meet this same problem the person is talking about, then do this. Now the whole algorithm or step-by-step instruction has been modified not to just meet the needs of those that the problem is, the solution has been given to the majority, but now we have also considered the small minority who might also have a problem somewhere with the solution. And say if this happens, then do this, else go on for the majority. Do you understand? So modifying something is very, very important. Okay, it's very good that we evaluate and modify our solutions, because as I stated earlier and I will state again, it's not every solution that is a solution. It can be the beginning of another problem for somebody. Are you okay? So don't just end at the solution, evaluate it, and if there's a need for modification, do it. We all agree to that fact. Now, let's look at creating computer solutions to problem. All right, so a similar process is used when we are creating computer solutions to problems. Okay, so when you are creating your program, you put yourself in this similar situation. All right, and when you do that, you will be able to, frankly speaking, you'll be able to accomplish whatever you want to, unless you didn't perform your task as expected to. But if you are putting into consideration all these things, planning, reviewing, you also go into evaluating or implementing, then evaluating, then if there's a need for modification, you do that. I'm sure if I don't know, the one person has a problem with your solution and you modify it to meet that person's needs as well, and it also goes alongside affecting somebody else, and you modify to meet both of them there, and you keep on modifying. I don't know, nobody will have a complaint anymore. Because whether you do this or you do this, the program does not care. It will solve your problem for you. You get it? Yeah, so that is it. So that is what I'm talking about. So having these same things, so whenever you are typing your code, I'll get there. I will show you all those things. Whenever you are typing your code, and imagine if you ask for the name of somebody, and the person provides a male, and then like a gender male's name, all right, and then says that he or she is a female. In case you are calling upon a person with a title, how are you going to do that? Are you going to say Mr. or Mrs.? So that person can literally or actually come and face you, because looking at the condition that he provided a male's name, yeah, to need this, what Mr. Samuel? I'm going to say the person was Samuel, but the person provided a male's name, and then the system must acknowledge the person to be a male. But meanwhile, too, the individual standing there chose gender as female. All right, and then the title that was given to the person was "Welcome, Mr. This." You see, then you create a kind of what? A confusion. When that person brings then it will come to him like, oh, okay, that means that there can be a situation whereby somebody will bear a male name but be a female. So let me create a condition, modify the solution to meet that person's needs, or whoever might also be in the situation of that person. Please, are we following? Okay, let's proceed. So creating a computer solution to a problem, let's continue, right? So to create a computer solution to a problem, all right, first you have to analyze the problem as we did. We have to plan. Planning is very, very important, right? Before you go into execution, plan. Okay, now you have to desk check an algorithm. The only way you know that your step-by-step procedure, all right, needs modification is whether you check it or not. As I stated from the top, that reviewing is the same as desk checking something. All right, you, after planning something, you review, also known as desk checking. So yes, I've written the algorithm, I have to review it, I have to desk check it. Oh, is there a need for a modification here? All of it goes into it. Now code the algorithm into a program. You can see clearly from here that an algorithm is not a code, but now they said that code the step-by-step instruction that you wrote, all right, to accomplish your task. Now code it into a program. That is to tell you that if you tell me that an algorithm is a set of code, all right, or a programming language, I will really fight you, because an algorithm is meant to be read and understood literally. All right, literally anybody that reads this thing will know what is going on here, but somebody can read your code and not understand. All right, so now that we are changing And sometimes algorithms is my best solution to solving a problem, because I sit down and then I write, thinking so many possible ways that thing can go right and go wrong, and I'm modifying it, I'm just checking it, I'm like writing. So at the end of the time, when I'm done, I know that, oh, okay, after creating a person's name or container for the person's name and receiving the input, this is the next thing I have to do, this is the next thing I'll have to do, step by step, and I'm following the algorithm. By the time I'm done, I've done whatever I need to do, looking at the fact that I just checked the algorithm before I coded it. So I've looked at all the possible ways things can go wrong in my algorithm or things can go right. And even if they go wrong, how will I go about it? All right. Now you also, after you have coded into it, now you just check the program. You just check the what? The program. Run it. Let it come along back. Let it meet mistakes. Let it go out. Then you know that, okay, fine. Sometimes you can code something, it gives you no back, but the returns, the result you are looking for is not what actually is being displayed to you. How will you know? You have to just check it. You have to run it to see. Run it and see. Let's see what comes out. Maybe alongside your coding the algorithm part, you inputted the figure wrongly. All right. And that will also end up, the machine does not really have that, oh, okay, this is not supposed to be this, but it's supposed to be this. Actually, it follows the instructions you have given to it. So, right, so you have to just check the program, realize that the outcome is not what I expected. So the problem might come from somewhere. Go and check it. Do you understand? That all goes into the desk checking of the program. And then after you have desk checked it, come across problems, then you evaluate it and modify if necessary. You can say the modification is if necessary. Right? You evaluate it. Let's say go out there to the people that are going to. How do you evaluate somebody? Right? How do you evaluate something? You can't use it yourself and then evaluate it. Sometimes you can do that, but most of the time, if the thing was created by you, you don't evaluate it by you. You don't rate it by yourself. You let people use it, and then let them give you the ratings. All right, let people give you the ratings of what you have produced. That is how best you evaluate something. But I think you have created something for yourself. If you prepare the food, and the food is nice for you, and somebody comes and eats it and tells you, then they call you. Like, no matter how good the food tastes in your mouth, you have a different conception about the food. Let people evaluate it. You understand? That's the only way. So giving a 5-star to the Uber driver and everything, it's all going into the evaluation. All right, it's all going into the evaluation aspect. You are evaluating the driver. Who are treat you nice, or the back drop you nice, still pack you no 1 star. And why do people do that? It goes a long way to tell the people who created the program that that particular driver is a problem. It was not a problem. He did his work and then it's even nicer than some other drivers. No man 1 star. I say, we are doing that, let's stop. Okay. So you understand why it's very important to do what is necessary as coders. Okay. But the machine does not really know that the driver did his or her job well. It's waiting for you to evaluate the driver. So whatever that's what the machine will base on. To say that because you receive the 1 star, then it means that I'm going to give you some kind of rights that you're not going to like, to places you understand. And your rights are not going to be that product, they're not going to bring you anything. I don't know if there's any people in that kind of field of work here. All right. They really know how 5-star evaluation is very, very important to them. You understand? It's very, very important. And how man can not treat you nicely, never be an nice, but sake of this, the 5-star, you know. When you keep on getting, from what I know, when you keep on getting these 5 stars for a very, very long period of time, comparing, there's some kind of important rights they even give you. I don't know if anybody here can raise their hand who is in that field of work to kind of like confirm it. Like, I really, really appreciate. I don't know if there's anybody like that. There's some kind of rights they are provide for you because of the fact that you are getting 5 stars. Maybe you'll be an alcohol farm. Do you understand? That's what I know. So now let's quickly continue. So analyzing the problem, right? Let's look at what goes into analyzing a problem. All right, it is essential to understand the problem before creating a solution to it. Now, so you understand the fact that analyzing also means understanding something. Okay, so analyzing a problem to determine the goal for solving it. First of all, before you can solve a problem, you have to look at its output. Before you know what you have to input into it to get, at the end of the day, you want jollof on your table. What are the things you have to first input into the saucepan to get the output of jollof on your plate? You understand? So it's very, very important that we look at that when we're analyzing something. Okay, you have to understand the fact that the only way you get jollof on your table is not with gari. All right, we don't use gari to get jollof. It does not work that way. Do you understand? Understand the fact that to get that output, there is a particular kind of input you have to give and do that. Understanding is part of the whole thing. Are you okay? Now, also go with the fact that, so always search first for an output before you look for an input. So let's understand the fact that before you go into looking at what will come out, what will go into something, first look at what must come out of it. First of all, I need chilled water to drink. All right, I need chilled water to drink. That's my output. I want chilled water at the end of the day. What must I input? What must I input? I can't put water on fire as my input and then expect chilled water at the end of the day. The only way I will attain that output is first when I look at what must I put into it to achieve that output. Are you okay? So I need to know my output before I look at what I'm going to input into achieving it. All right. You need to look at the fact that you want to attain a building as your house. Then you come and look at what you are going to put into constructing the building. That's why in life you have to have an aim before it will drive you to achieve that aim. You have to set something on your eye, the output, before you have to know what you have to input to achieve it. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? Let's really go fast. We are far behind them. We have to finish everything today. And today, I made it quite clear that if there is a tendency for us to go into the coding environment, I am not going to wait for anybody. With a base on except you have a question, you don't understand what I'm teaching. Because I made it quite clear in our last section that if you haven't set up your environment, please reach out. Let us help you. I said it. So if you know you didn't do it, you didn't reach out to anybody, then that one there, sorry, I can't actually drag the class because of that. Please forgive me, but I can't do that because of that. So please, if you haven't and we are not able to really go into the practical part today, please reach out to somebody before we meet again. I'm sure we will meet again. So please do that. All right. Let's look at this. All right, let's look at this one. First of all, let's first look at the problem here. All right, they say that we're analyzing a problem. We're going to analyze this problem. You can put your name there if you want to. All right, once a program that calculates and displays the cost of a 4K Ultra HD TV, which is finally on sale at one of the stores in her area. The program should calculate the cost by multiplying the sales price by the state sale tax rate and then adding the result to the sale price. All right. So now this is analyzing a problem. All right. At the end of the day, you look at the output. You can see very clearly that it is telling you what the person wants before it tells you what must be done to achieve what the person wants. Please, do you understand? So it's very, very important we look at that. Now we are coming to look at this with something called an IPO chart. In other words, input processing output chart. Okay. And this thing we have done it in our coding. Every time we are coding with the lecturer, he said, let this be your input, then this part will be the processing part, then there will be an output, something to display to you. So now let's really look at it. So when you see IPO chart, it simply means input processing output chart. Okay, so some programmers use an IPO chart to organize and summarize their results of a please, at the end of this lesson, now ask questions. So please, if you have any question, please ask, because when I start throwing the questions, I'm expecting answers. Okay, like what we did the last time, and I want it to be really, really interactive. I'm putting this on board before we get there. I'll ask questions. Okay, so please, some programmers use this IPO chart to organize and summarize the results of a problem analysis. What are you expecting to see at the end? Your output. Then you will come and look at what should go into receiving that output. If I want to see A on my screen, I first have to know that the letter A on my keyboard is what I'm supposed to input before I see the output A on my screen. I have to know that first. Do you understand? I have to know that the only way my output, what I want to achieve, what do I want to achieve? A on the screen. Then the input required for it is me pressing A on the keyboard, not a B. Are we okay? So from the question or from the problem up there, we know that the thing that we need to input, because I know that we want the cost. And what are required for us to receive the cost? We need the sales price, the sales tax rate. Then we come and look at the processing aspect. This processing aspect, all right, we are going to look at the items needed. Okay, I know I have this, but when you say the ladies can appreciate this more. All right, I have tomato, I have this, I have all the items I need to input. These items you have to input must be placed in the saucepan in a particular order. And yes, cooking food will be the fastest thing to do on this earth. Then we know say family gum. Che bibi abo mprekope aben di. Hey, that's not like that way. Unless your aim, your output is that you have a running stomach. That one they're fine. You don't have any problem. You achieve it perfectly. That any struggle. All right? Trust me, you achieve what you want. Do you understand? But I'm sure that's not our aim. Okay, so we can all agree to the fact that even though you have the items available, there's a particular kind of logic that must go with the usage of these items before your required output will be achieved. There's a particular kind of logic, and this goes into writing the algorithm. This is the step I have to follow. This is the thing I have to do. At this point, there must be a multiplication. At this point, there must be at this point, the pepper must be a little bit for, and that's when you have to look at all these things and the order in which they have to be placed in the saucepan. Are you okay? Please, I know that I don't know if you guys can really relate to what I'm trying to say here. I'll really be happy if you are understanding what I'm saying here. Even though you have the items, we have to have the logic in the usage of these items before we can achieve the output. We have to get the logic, the algorithms, write it down. What is a sequential, what is a step-by-step approach I have to do? That is why there is a recipe in the first place. Oh. That's why there is a recipe. And then could be a chef, be a master chef. What is a master chef? If all it entails is putting everything inside as you get them. Oh, come on. Be any median, you understand? But it does not work that way. We all agree to the fact that it does not work that way. You can buy the items from the market, get home and don't know what to do with these items. By the end of the day, you still know that you are picturing the food in your head, and you sometimes you follow that thing, and because you didn't follow it well, your output will not be as you desired. Do you understand? They have to do modification of your cooking. You have to, but next time I won't do this. You will agree to that fact. I say I use the love not the rice water. Everyone says maybe because you place more water than needed. So next time you modify it. You understand? You have to modify it. So at the end of the day, it does not turn into rice water. It's a bit chilly mutu, but the love mutu. Sorry, let's continue. Let's proceed. All right. So let's look at some hints. All right, they're trying to give us some hints for analyzing a problem. It's very important that it's good that the lecturer is giving us the slides is giving us some hints. All right, to go about doing this. All right. Let's look at now. Several readings of the problem may be necessary to fully understand the problem. Now, the reason why this one here, I will go back to what I said earlier and repeat on it again, is because why will I read something severally over and over again? It's two things. It's that I want to be in the shoes of that thing, understand it. Please, are you following? I want to understand the thing. That's why I'll read it step by step. And the second thing is because I don't understand it. If you read something at a go and you understand it, gives you the clear everything. There's no need for you to read the several. We can even testify this in academic writing. There's a different ways to read something. Read something by just reading it. Sometimes read it to actually understand the passage. Put certain things down, not certain things out of it. It applies everywhere. Right? So reading something severally over and over again, or trying to go over a problem that is in front of you over and over again is also a key way in solving it, analyzing the problem. It might not be in words, might not be written for you to read, but what I'm trying to say is that whatever problem it is, take it over and over again, over and over again. Sometimes it's required for you to have a deeper understanding of it. Make the problem yours. Take it personal. Right? Then we have to cross out irrelevant and relevant. I would like irrelevant and relevant all to be here. All right. You have to cross out irrelevant information in a problem description. All right. First of all, I don't need to know the name of the person who needs the program. It does not really matter. Or at the end of the day, there's something I need to achieve. There's something I need to achieve. All right. And that thing is to display a cost of a particular item. Okay. So what are some of the things I want to do? Whether the person bought it from the shop or whatever, I don't care. But there's something I need to achieve. First of all, identify the problem by what? Canceling out the irrelevant problems. Irrelevant information in the problem given to you. Cancel it out. Some of them are not really a problem. They're just an add up. But this is also known as streamline. You have to bring it down. Break it down to smaller absorbable forms. All right. So this is like trying to make the complex thing look quite simple. All right. Calculate and display the cost. Calculate the cost. You see, now you realize that you are looking at what you have to do alone. You have to look at what you have to do alone. Just because we cancelled out irrelevant things that we don't need. Are we okay? So this is now telling you what you have to do to be able to achieve the solving of it. And it's all analyzing it. Very, very important that you do that, right? Read it severely, cancel out irrelevant information, and then leave the relevant ones out. Okay. Yes. Or you can even go along a different style of view by underlining the relevant ones and then maybe canceling out the irrelevant ones. However way you want to do it, it depends on you. All right. Good. My teacher once told me that even in a drawing, okay, a line can change everything. Those who do visual or arts can testify to this. In a drawing, all right, a line that is not supposed to be there can even change the whole meaning of the drawing. It can change it totally. All right, a line can make something that is not supposed to be. Yeah, that is true. A line, just a single line, can change the entire meaning of a drawing. A single line. Imagine if I have let's take for instance, I have a drawing of somebody stretching their hand to maybe catch a ball. Let's picture this: a drawing of somebody stretching the hand to catch the ball, and then I draw wavy lines across the person's hand. It will look like as if the person is drowning or is in the water trying to catch the ball. That is flying in the air. I draw this kind of wavy lines to cross the person's stretched hand. What would it look like? The person is in water. Yes, sir. So that particular wavy line I drew to cross the hand of the stretched hand, is going to change the whole meaning of the drawing altogether. Right. So it's very, very important that we do that. Okay. It's very, very important when you're analyzing the problem. It's very, very important that we look at these things. Okay. That even the smallest mistake can bring out a different meaning. Right. So that there's the analyzing the problem takes longer than we are actually thinking. But it involves a lot. You have to spend time analyzing the problem before you even go into planning how to solve it. After all, if you don't understand what you are coming to solve, how are you going to plan towards achieving it? You have to understand it. You understand? It's very, very important. Okay, so we are seeing that Cynthia Johansson earns $100.50 per hour. Last week she
worked 45 hours. Create a program that calculates and displays her weekly crossword pay. All right. So what do you think are the relevant information here? Who can tell me? Or mute your mic and or raise your hand and tell me. Looking at this one, who can tell me what is the relevant information here? Who can tell me? You can raise your hand so that I call you. Then I display that one again. I want to see that whoever raised that. That's why I'm here. On you are seeing this one right now. I want to see that you raise your hand. Then I know that you know. So I call you to help us fish out the relevant information by first canceling out the irrelevant ones. Anybody? Let me go. Okay, Vida, thank you. Vida, you're already allowed, so you can let me go back to it so that you can look at it. You can speak, Vida.
So the irrelevant
Yes.
informations are the name,
Okay.
last week,
Okay.
yeah, I think the name and last week.
Okay. You are correct. You are correct. Even though it's not all, but you have mentioned some of them, and it's very important and very good that you have been able to identify this irrelevant information. So let's look at it. Right, cancel out the name. This sentence here. What does it really affect? Like $100.15 per hour. You know this. This thing alone makes sense to you. This
Yeah,
look, it's not a consistent thing, but it makes sense to you. If I tell you 150, 11.50 dollars per an hour, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Everybody who agrees, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Now I said for 45 hours. So if an individual earns this per hour, we all know that 45 hours we are trying to do something. Indirectly, I'm trying to ask you if this thing is earned per hour and I'm giving you 45 hours, what are you supposed to get at the end of the day? So we don't even need to do this.
Ratio and proportion.
Thank you. Simple cross multiplication or something will really help you out. All right. So now we have to look at this part of it. What do I want to output at the end of the day? No. First of all, I have to know the algorithm part, calculating the step-by-step thing. What must I do? I have to calculate. And at the end of the day, the output is that I want to display her weekly gross pay, total pay per week. Do you understand? So there are certain informations here that are not really relevant. The relevant ones is that first of all, the person earns this per hour, and now the person worked for this hours. So what must the person earn at the end of the day? So these are the relevant things you have to know. Brother is really correct. Are you okay? So that is that. Let's go on. All right, now we have to distinguish between information that is missing and information that is what implied. We have to know how to distinguish between information that is missing and information that is what implied. Now, before let's go back and look at this thing again. The Cynthia, see that some problem specification contains incomplete information. All right, even though me, I will say that it's incomplete because they're not telling us what we must multiply by what or what, but logically we all know what we have to do here per what the output is asking us to do, and this is what goes into analyzing, right? Understanding it. This is the problem. How will you know what you want to do? You have to look at what we are looking for at the end of the day and the information that has been given to us. So even though this is not really explicitly tell you that do this, multiply this by this, you know what you have to do because of what you want to see. Please do you all agree to that fact? That's why they're saying that it's an incomplete
Yes,
something.
sir.
But yeah, we all agree to the fact that because they have been given to us what we want to see, all right, and the items needed to be able to see that, then we should know the algorithm, the step-by-step procedures to follow to have the achieved output or the output we want to achieve. Do you understand what I'm saying? The next thing is that we have to distinguish between information that is missing and information that is implied.
What am I talking about? Let's read it. Let's read it here. Godwin. Is it Godwin? This is not Godwin. Whatever it is, Matthew wants
Gordon.
a program, all right, that calculates and displays the area of a rectangle. Now, please, let's look at this. What is this thing implying? Yeah, yes. Frankly speaking, something is missing here. Things are missing here. But you can't tell me that you don't know what this thing implies. Let's take a moment and really appreciate it. All right, let's take a moment. Let's appreciate it. Please, I want to know, in case I tell you that Mr. Freeman here, all right, wants a program that should be able to calculate and display the area of a rectangle, what does it imply? Please, we all agree to the fact that I'm not giving you specific information. I've given you it's a problem. We all agree to the fact that it's a problem, right? But I'm not giving you specific information that this is what I want to, this is the length of the rectangle, but at the end of the day, I want a program that should be able to produce an output, which is the area of a rectangle. What am I implying here?
Length times breadth.
Okay, thank you, Vida. Anybody? Okay, in Terrible, let me unmute your mic and then I don't know if I've already unmuted your mic.
Hello.
Yeah, in Terrible, I can speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so meaning that you are looking for the area and the length of the rectangle. So you are going to find the area and the length and the total of the area and the length of that of rectangle they are asking you to calculate for.
I like what is going on here. This is analyzing. Yes, Joshua.
Yes.
Okay, it implies that at the end we are going to get an area which is maybe a number.
Okay. You said it implies. I like the fact that you are using the implied here. Okay, next. Any other? Thank you very much, Joshua. Any other? Okay, let's look at it then. Now, we all agree to the fact, and we I don't know if everybody will stand with me here that this thing is not telling us specifically the things needed or the items needed, all right, to calculate for the area of a rectangle. But it is implying to us that we are supposed to know that if I want display to me the area of any rectangle, look at the thing here, say any, there are certain things that I need to do. What do I need? I need the length of the rectangle. We agree. I need the breadth of the rectangle. I multiply it together to come out with the area, no matter the length of the rectangle. That's what it says, any rectangle. No matter the length, no matter the breadth, it should give me a particular expected outcome. Do we all understand that the information missing here is not really something that is missing, but what is needed to be done implies that something must be done first. I wish you guys can really give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you understand what is going on here. Even though the information was not given that because if I tell you that I want to display the area of any rectangle, and I'm later on telling you that the rectangle's length is this, the rectangle's breadth is this, am I actually giving you, is the thing going to give me the area of any rectangle, a specific rectangle? So it might look like some specific rectangle. So it might look like something is missing, but something is not. Nothing is missing based on what we want to see. Any rectangle. So provided that any length was given, any breadth was given, this is what the thing is trying to imply. Hey, sorry, I've disabled your mic, brother. Allow Joshua, you can ask a question.
Maila,
Huh?
I'm lost.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's continue. All right, so that is it. Analyze. We are talking about hints for analyzing something, right? Don't say that, oh, the person did not provide it. The person. What if the thing is not going to be used by that specific person, but for everybody? So you should create a program that will favor everybody, no matter what the user will input. There's a expected outcome that must come. Then that is solving the problem, analyzing it. Understand the fact that it's not going to be used by one person, so don't make it changing for just one input. Make it versatile. Let it vary. Are you okay? Who is going to use the who, and then the when, and then the how the program is going to be used also goes into the analyzing. Are you okay? Don't say that, oh, something is missing. Something might not be missing. I'm telling you, I want to calculate for the area of any given rectangle. What am I trying to imply? Must I give you the area of the length and the breadth of a rectangle? No, if I do that, I'm asking you to calculate and display to me the area of a given rectangle. But I said any rectangle. That means that a first user can come and use the program and enter different inputs. Another person come and enter another different type of input, expecting them to receive not the same answers because their inputs were different. You understand? So that's what it implies. Not that an information is missing. You understand? Now let's look at planning the algorithm. So what is an algorithm? We discussed that an algorithm is a set of instructions that will perform, all right, the program's input into, that will transform the program's input into its what output. All right, so that's why it's a step-by-step procedure. All right, so you write using the items you are going to input. All right, we are going to write, okay, put this thing here, put this one here at the end of the day, because we want an expected output. Okay, so that's what an algorithm does. It's not, remember, it's not actually the code. It's actually writing down some instructions or certain things you have to follow. All right, so in case I give you certain numbers to play around, what you are going to do with those numbers, and then what is going to come out of it because of what you are doing, what you are writing down. All right, that's okay, I want to do this with 3, I want to multiply 3 with this, then do this, so that at the end of the day I get this as the answer. What you're writing down is an algorithm. Are you okay? So it can be written as Vida, your way.
Serial code.
Serial code or a flowchart. So algorithms can either be written as serial code, I've gotten it right, or a flow chart. All right. So what's this? Vida, please pronounce it right.
Serial code.
What is a serial code? All right. So they said two programmers use to help plan an algorithm. All right, so we stated the fact that there are two ways of writing an algorithm. All right, there are two ways of writing an algorithm. Either you use this method. There can be other ways though, but I don't know. I've not done my research on that yet. But what I know for now is that there are two ways of going about it. All right, and this is the use of short English statement, not standardized. All right, and not understandable by the computer. That is why it is not a code. So we can all agree to the fact that this particular thing we are seeing here is an algorithm. All right, sometimes there might be short sentences, not grammatically correct, but you know what they mean to you. Do you understand? Because they're instructions. All right, sit here, do this, do that. All right, so they might not be grammatically correct. That's why they said that's not standardized. All right, but what you must know is that they are not as understandable by the computer because it is not the code. Please, okay, so don't write an algorithm and go and type it in C++ and then when I was compiling it didn't work. It will not work. I'm telling you now, it won't work. Are you okay? So now look at the problem that was stated earlier. Now look at the sales price, the sales tax rate. That's all I needed. All right, let's look at the processing items. All right, then it says none. Right, none. We don't have any processing items. All right. Now that we don't have any problem, so in case the user should enter the sales price and sales rate, we have something as a processing item now. Are you okay? But for now, we don't have anything there. So when the user enters the sales price and the sales rate, we are getting some items to process or play around with in the processing area. All right. Now we can calculate the cost by multiplying this sales price from this process. This is the whole processing items. No, it's going on there now because the only way something will be here is when there's an input of these items. Are we okay? Are we okay? But for now, we have not done anything yet. So they say that each instruction begins with a verb, and it's quite clear here. It's giving just the instruction: do this, do that, do this. After that, do, because they are set as step-by-step instructions. All right, they are step-by-step instructions. That's what an algorithm is, that you have to follow in its given order in order to accomplish a task. Do you understand? Then display the cost. Then at the end of the day, costs. You can do this in an this is an IPO chart. All right, input output process. There are so many ways you can do it, either in a flow chart form. All right, flow chart is like drawing a couple of boxes with arrows pointing down and pointing down with another box, arrow pointing down, like just that thing makes it different from a serial code. All right, this, I'll classify this as a serial code or something. All right, like using words like what we are seeing here without any like what do we call it, diagrammatic kind of display of it. All right, now let's look at what a flow chart is. Are also used to plan algorithms. Okay, so this use standardized symbols. This also use symbols connected with flow lines, as I stated, some kind of lines. All right, you get there, you see the diagram. All right, now it also has an oral kind of statement that are kind of like mostly used, which is the start and then the stop. Okay, the next thing is that it also represents beginning and end of algorithm. So this start and stop represents the beginning and end of the algorithm you are writing in the flowchart. Okay, rectangle. So we use the rectangles as the process symbols. So when you draw the rectangle, the boxes, these are the process symbols. So you just fix the processes inside those symbols. All right, so that is to say represents tasks such as calculations. Okay, then we have the parallelogram. All right, we also input and output what symbol. So let's just look at it. So each shape has a particular kind of like function attached to what you have to input there. Okay, so we know this one to be the start and then the stop. All right, as stated in the app there. Then we also know that a parallelogram, what does it do? When you draw a parallelogram, what are you doing with it? Let's go back and appreciate it. All right, we do input and output in parallelograms. Okay, so what is it saying here? Enter the sales price. You see, so an input is being done here. All right, then for rectangles, their calculations are done in the rectangles. All right, and remember, parallelograms are for input and output. So when you say display something, you're going to write it in a parallelogram. Do you get what I'm? So this is simply just a flow chart, okay, for an algorithm, as simple as that. Okay, and you can see that this one has been placed into parentheses via the
Pseudo code.
code. So this will tell you that the written and numbered one raw like that is a serial code. All right, so that's the difference. That's clearly the difference between the two ways of analyzing and writing an algorithm. Okay, I'm not sure there's really much. Now let's look at this checking an algorithm. All right, we don't have much time. Let's look at it. We are looking at desk checking an algorithm. When we desk check an algorithm, all right, we verify that it is correct. All right, referring to checking an algorithm by hand rather than with a computer. Okay, so we check it. What I can say okay. Okay, I say now me say multiply way by way, but me share me anything I mean ya answer na me pen. So I say, and we do that by writing. We actually do the multiplication on the paper. Say I should multiply the sales price, try and give it like a demi or something, a number that you can play around with. All right, so provided that the sale price is this and this is this, do the working on the paper and see. Do you understand? So that is desk checking an algorithm. Everything is done not on the computer though, but outside the computer. All right, so this is also called the hand tracing. You can see that it has a very sensible name to it, attached to it. Okay, now they say that choose sample data and manually compute the expected output value. That's what I was saying. You just pick up some kind of dummy numbers to play around with, and then work with it to see if the expected output value will be achieved. All right, before you even go about turning it into a code. Are you okay? So this is desk checking an algorithm. This is what goes into it. Then creating a desk check table that can be what helpful. So let's look at it. That's it. You can see that the person picked out some random number as the sales price, the sales stash rate, did manually did the calculations to see the cost that will be displayed. All right. So in case the person makes a mistake here, he or she is going to make have a kind of like unexpected outcome because he made a mistake with or either the part to input or maybe the calculation part. All right. So the expected outcome will not be achieved. All right. So you just check it again to see, okay, why didn't I receive my expected outcome? Then I have to do this rather. Then you see, so this is the algorithm level, not the actual code level. This is algorithm level. Okay, so we are just checking an algorithm. On the algorithm level, let's look at it from here. So processing items here is sales tax. The sales tax has been given, but sales price has not been given. So we say enter the sales price and sales tax. This is a studio code. I've gotten it right. Thank you. Calculate calculate the sales tax by multiplying the sales price by sales tax rate. You see, this is algorithms giving you a set of instructions you have to follow. Now display the cost. Okay, so now let's go into here. So now, before you do that, to just check the algorithm we have written here, you pick up some numbers, all right? Then you write it down. Then you are going to perform your calculations, all right? You're going to perform your calculations, and then you are going to see out a certain kind of expected output, all right? So, okay, when I do and I use these two numbers and I multiply it well, this is what I must get. Are you okay? And if you don't get that as the outcome, it means that there was a mistake somewhere. Do you understand? So that's what they are trying to say over here. So in case I pick this and I pick this, what is my expected outcome? Okay, in case I pick this and I get this as my sale tax rate, what should be my expected outcome? Well, of course, I'm not going to get the first one as my expected outcome. There will be a new kind of outcome because of what I inputted earlier and what I worked with earlier. Okay, or later on. All right, so that brings us to what we call as a valid data and what an invalid data is. Now, data that the algorithm is expecting the user to enter, that is a valid data. Okay, but an invalid data is data that the algorithm is not expecting the user to enter. Okay, so if you are not expecting the user to input a certain kind of data, maybe the password or something. There's something that you're not expecting the user to input in the particular, some kind of characters. Or if the user inputs that, then you say that invalid input. You tell the user that invalid input. When we all agree to that, we meet it all the time when we are using our programs. Okay, when it is valid, then the computer gives you access to whatever, the program gives you access to whatever you want to use. All right, so that is what invalid and valid data is. Any questions before I go on about that? Any questions? Or we are all good? If you're all good at times of let's go. All right, let's continue then. Thank you, Vida, for your reaction. And then we also have, you should test an algorithm with invalid data. Why are you saying that we should test an algorithm with invalid data? Sometimes you also have to put the machine to a test, the program to a test. All right, try and give it some things that are not right, and then let's see what the machine will give you at the end of the day. If it's able to produce something meaningful out of you inputting something that is not right, then it should tell that there's a problem with your algorithm or your code itself. Okay, all right. So users may make mistakes when entering what data. So it's also important that when you are doing it, you deliberately make these mistakes just to see how the outcome will also be afterwards. Okay, so it's not anything too difficult to understand. All right, let's not really waste time on it. Okay, so now they said there's a problem here. Okay, the algorithm has been written in the form of an input processing output chart. Okay, then what kind of what type of algorithm is this, please? The questioning has started. What type of algorithm is this? Anybody? What type of algorithm are you looking at? I told you that algorithms can be represented in two ways. For now, for the purpose of this lesson, it can be represented in two ways. So in what form has this algorithm been written? Sorry.
It's valid.
No.
Hey, please ask the question again.
I said, in what form? This algorithm, the IPO chart for the input, processing, and output, all right? And with the algorithm in the processing aspect, that is what to do, the step by step. This algorithm has been written in a particular form. What kind of form is this?
I think, is it not CD codes?
Yeah, that's the pseudo code. So this has been written in the pseudo code form. This is not a flow chart, right? This is not a flow chart. A flow chart will have the
It's the
parallelogram
use of the parallelograms and all that.
and then the rectangle, the start and then the stop. Okay, so put that one in mind. Brother, please, did you get the answer? And do you understand the answer? So, okay, thank you very
Yes.
much. Okay, so then let's check the algorithm. So we can see clearly here that some kind of input was given, all right, and then an output came out. Then the input was altered, all right, and then the output, a different output also came out. So sometimes you have to make deliberate mistakes just to see whether the output is going to give you certain, and even with the deliberate mistakes you are making, you have to, in your algorithm, you have to solve it and then see what is expected to come out. If the computer, the program gives you like some kind of output that is not per what you calculated, then there's a problem that you didn't just check your algorithm well, or you didn't just check your code as you typed it. All right, remember you have to just check your code as well. So when you input the deliberate mistakes, just check that the deliberate mistakes is what you have actually inputted. All right, don't say that the program is not working. Meanwhile, to back question on 11, why and 1 and 2 as 11, and it's not working. All right, it's not working, then you'll be like, the program is not doing what is expected. No, sometimes you also have to just check your deliberate mistakes. Right, remember, desk checking comes in two folds. You desk check your algorithm, and then we desk check your code as well. Remember, the algorithm is not code, it's not a code. So we have to desk check these two things. All right, and desk checking is simply mean as reviewing the thing, and I've told you what goes into desk checking. All right, we have learned what goes into it. We are done, so I'm just trying to brush through it again. All right, I've told you what goes into desk checking something. All right, I said that when you're desk checking something, all right, it refers to what, checking the algorithm by hand. This is desk checking an algorithm. Let me be specific about it, but it's actually applies, the same idea applies to the the code itself, or the program, the instruction that you have typed. Okay, when you're desk checking it, what goes into it is that you are checking the code or the algorithm. All right, they are checking to make verifications if, or corrections if necessary. All right, then you just choose some kind of random data to work with, just to see if the expected outcome or and then make mistakes, deliberate mistakes. All this goes into desk checking. Make deliberate mistakes if those outcome to as expected will come, and if the deliberate mistakes also produce something weird, then it also helps you to know that, okay, in case this one and this thing also happen, this is what is going to come out, so let me fix that one too. Okay, so it's very important. Desk checking is very, very important. Just like analyzing a problem is important, desk checking is important. All right, and then with desk checking, I've told you that it's not always looking at the right thing, doing the right thing. Okay, he says 20% for this, input wrong ones to see how the program will behave. All right, in other words, push the program to its limit to see if it will break. Do you understand? Give it all sort of things to see, like when they're asking for your name and you input 23 to see what the program will say. Do you understand? Please, are you following? They're
Yes,
asking
sir.
for your age and then you input your surname there just to see how the program will accept that one. All these things goes into what, the desk checking. All right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Hello, sir. Mr. Felix.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to ask you, can we, the summary, if we can answer some of the questions before you
Yes,
close.
we are going to do that. We're going to do that. Time is set for 5 minutes. Let's use it for that. Okay. All right. So the summary. All right. The summary. Let's say summary content. So the summary starts from here. All right. So now they said problem solving typically involves analyzing the problem and then planning, reviewing, implementing, evaluating, and modifying, if necessary, the solutions. All right. Remember, a solution might also be the beginning of another problem. So there will be a need to modify it if there is a necessity. Okay, now programmers use tools like the input processing output chart, all right, the algorithms in the form of a what, VIDA, in the form of a
Video code.
all right, or flowcharts, all right, to help them analyze problems and develop the algorithms. Remember, these things are used, all right, are used in developing an algorithm, all right. Good. Then the first step in problem solving is to analyze the problem, determine first determine the output, and then what is required to be inputted to achieve that particular what output is very, very important. Are you okay? Then we say that the second step is to plan the algorithm. So you write the step-by-step instructions that are needed, all right, with the given inputs that we identified. You work with those inputs by writing a step-by-step kind of like things to do with the inputs, all right, and then so that we know our desired what output. So that is all about the planning, right? So I can say fervently that the algorithm aspect goes into the planning, right? When we talk about the planning of the code, like what you have to do, the real work goes into the planning. When we are talking about algorithm, the real work goes into the planning aspect, all right. But the first step here, all right, problem solving is analyzing, just understanding, appreciating the problem, all right. But the real work goes into planning it. Are you okay? So that's where the real work goes into. And the next check is just putting the program or the algorithm to its test, right? Pushing the algorithm to its limit, making random errors, deliberate errors, and all, just to see how the program will respond. All right. This is done by first choosing some kind of a sample data manually. All right. Work with it to see. All right. You just check it by checking to see if the thing gave out the required output you wanted it to give. If not, why didn't it? Maybe that you didn't do something right somewhere. And if it gave you the right output, give it wrong inputs and see what the output will be. Do you understand? Play around with it. Okay. And then I have some questions to ask here. But before I do ask my questions, if you have any, because we are done, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Because there's some what is missing here. All right. So I want. Okay, Interior.
Hello, sir.
Your mic. Yes, sir.
Please, my question is a general question. Anybody who have the
Okay.
answer can answer.
Okay.
I don't know. Did anybody have any idea about the DCIT 102, the mode of the exams, how the exams is going to be like?
102.
It's
104
online.
this one, this
Online.
particular course, the mode of the exams, how is it going to be? Is
S-
anybody
Online.
have any idea
Online.
about it?
Online.
Yes, I know it's
that
online, but
There's
how
going to
is it
be
going to be?
objects.
Maybe is it in type in, or it just A and B we choose, or maybe there
We
will be some
can't
questions.
really tell.
Joshua, you can speak before I speak. Joshua, you can speak.
Yeah, I have a friend in Kumasi University. He said it is multiple choice, their own. So I don't
Okay.
know whether ours will be the same.
So what I'm asking is that I don't, if it is multiple choice, is it that will they give us something like programming or any other thing for us to do, or some
I think
filling
maybe
questions?
it will be like the way he gave us the test and quizzes. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Basically get me.
Yeah, I've heard what you said.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I mean, me myself, I can't really testify to how the outcome will be, but with one time kind of like conversation with the lecturer on how it's going to be, it was like, "Who bet your code in and all," and it was quite
Yeah,
funny.
because
Also, bet your code, on paper. So we are hoping that it does not get to
I
that extent.
cool. No, trying to start again.
Oh yeah, but also it's that's what I'm talking about today. Algorithms. Please, you can write your code and let's check it.
All right, so that's what you said. I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't really remember the individual that was kind of like having that kind of conversation with the lecturer, but I do
Andrew,
remember
I was the one.
Vida. Thank you. Yeah, so Vida, if okay, say okay, can say
Yeah.
And also, no, he made mention of the fact that on Sakai there is no compiler to run it.
Yes.
Uh,
So he
but
said we'll be writing it on paper, but on the timetable that is out right now is online.
It can never be sitting on.
You see, Vida, because someone told me that they can give you a programming or a code, and the lecture will intentionally put errors and ask you to just check where the errors are from.
Oh, okay.
That is why someone also tell me that you can put a programming distance, then there is errors, and they will ask you to just check the errors.
Yeah. Yeah, that one
You
too is there.
understand? That's what I'm asking. So now it's like we don't know what.
Okay, so now we
is
don't really know what's involved. So
Yeah.
maybe Sunday he will inform us. So let's pursue.
Maybe you'll be thinking of multiple choice, and you'll come and there will be a programming, and they will ask you to just check the errors, and you'll be there. You don't know if you
No,
can
he
do
will
it. Then
inform us. He will tell us the mode of the exams before we.
yeah, I'm sure he will do
Yeah,
that.
he will.
But let's not really worry.
That
But
will be on the last day.
it's a problem, and we have to just check it. You have to write an algorithm and all for it. You have to analyze it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is what someone told me.
Okay. It's to be desk checked another time. Okay, let's write an algorithm for it another time. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Let me ask the questions now. All right. Let me ask the questions now. Okay. This ones, I think you should read it, prepare your questions from it, and then throw them at me in our next meeting. But I have my own questions I would like to ask you. Okay. And I would like us to all try and contribute. Nobody is wrong here. Let me put this one out. Nobody is wrong here. Then that somebody's answer might turn out to be better than somebody's one. So let me be specific. All right. Nobody is wrong. Okay. So now my first question is going to be that as a programmer, all right, trying to solve the problem of an individual. Okay. And we all know that with problem solving, analyzing is very, very important. Okay. Now, I have come to you as the person with a problem. And this is my problem. I have a program I'm using at my workplace. And this is what happens. Whenever somebody inputs the fact that he or she is a female as for gender and inputs the name, are we okay? And inputs the marital status. This is my problem as being single. All right. The thing still refers to that individual as a Mrs. All right. The message that comes to the individual is having Mrs. attached to the name instead of Miss. How would you, as a programmer, help the individual solve that problem with the what would you tell that individual?
I don't get a question.
My question is, I'm using a program. All right. The program requires for me to input my gender. I inputted female. Sorry. I'm not saying I'm a female, but that's the question. I inputted female. My name. I inputted my name. Marital status. I chose single. But the thing refers to me, the message that is being sent to me at the end of all these inputs has Mrs. Mrs. attached to my name instead of Miss because I'm not married. What are you going to tell me, the individual with the problem, to do with to be able to achieve the Miss instead of the Mrs.?
Okay, so I'll
What
tell
is
you
the
that
first?
I'll get back to you. So later on I will
Okay.
yeah, so I'll tell you I'll get back.
Okay, so you've created the program. You tell the person I will get back to you, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so me telling the person I'll get back, that means I'll work on the program. So that means the person has prompted me about something
Good.
like that, right?
So that means that you created a solution for them in the first place, but the solution has turned to be that individual's problem, right?
Oh, okay.
So what are you going to do to the program you have written, the solution you gave to them? What are you going to do?
So if the
I
person
want,
okay, so
I
if the
want
person is a single, the
I, no,
person is
I just want a very specific symbol from what we are, sorry, sentence from what we have learned today. That
I'll
you,
take
the
stick.
program, no, wrong. Sorry, sorry, I'm not saying, I said no one is wrong. Forgive me.
Hmm.
Emmanuel, Emmanuel, don't mind me. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, Ben, please help us. Okay, I think it was by mistake. I've allowed this mic. And Emmanuel, okay. Isaac.
Sir, good evening.
No.
For me, I would want to review the code, identify the error, and then see how best I could possibly correct it.
Okay. Isaac,
I think
do you
that's
agree
not
to the fact
error.
that there's no error in the program? That's why it's working fine in the first place for the person to
Hmm.
use. So there is something
Eh,
there's a sentence
the,
there.
okay.
There's a sentence in the program. Somebody, this one can't be the problem of it. This can't be the problem. This can't be the problem of the day. Come on.
It
I
will
know,
surely
I know
be.
that. No, 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 it will not be. Me, I'll mention them so.
Modify the solution.
Jedida. Jedida. Jedida, I haven't heard your voice today. Please help us.
The question skipped me.
All right, Jedida, I'm saying that you have created a program for me. All right. And then the program is meant to do certain things, but a particular message will be displayed to me as of when certain inputs were asked from you asked certain inputs from me. You asked me to input my name. All right, and I inputted my name. My gender, I inputted female. Are you okay? And then my marital status, I chose single. Please, Jada, are you following?
Yeah.
And then the message that came to me, getting to my name aspect, when I was reading the message, I saw that a particular title has been given to my name as Mrs. And this means a married woman. Are you okay? Instead of Miss. All right. That means a woman who is of age. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So,
Yes.
Jedida, I came to you to complain this to you. What are you going to do? Ask the person who coded the program. What are you going to do?
Okay. So for me, I think I have to check that line where I maybe I'll just change back the the title. I don't know
Okay.
if yeah, maybe the title I'll change it back to miss. I don't know
Miss.
if fault will be in the code in that line. I don't know.
So you are trying to say that you go and then change the miss there initially, like as if it was a mistake,
Wait, so that
right?
there was a miss there, but the thing
No, no,
um
sorry. You go and change the misses in the code like as if it
yeah,
was a mistake.
yeah,
You go and change the misses. That's for
yeah,
you.
yes, I think that's
Okay. That's another. Joshua, Anan.
okay. Okay, so I'll review it again.
Joshua.
My I can't answer my la.
I don't want to say you are wrong. That's why I mentioned your name like that. But anyway, let's go. So thank you very much. I don't know if there's any other contribution before I try and see if I can give an answer we all agree to.
Yes. So, is it that you program. So how would you even, how would they, like you, how do I even ask this question?
Mhm.
How would the machine or how would the program know that the person enter is single?
That's because the information the machine asks, the program asks that the person should input the marital status as either being single or married.
And so,
All
so
right. But
you, so I
the
have,
message given to that individual is the fact that they had the title Mrs. instead of Miss attached to the name. And I'm asking, what will you do as a programmer if I come to you to complain about this?
hey, mm, I'm
Yes,
thinking and
Isaac.
experiences.
Okay, let me unmute.
Yes,
Isaac, please continue.
I think that the person is able to input all right, but then the problem is in the processing. It
Okay.
seems to me that the logic that was defined originally does not
Mm-hmm.
properly kind of assign the right gender to the person's input. So I believe that there has to be some adjustments that should be made to the processing in order to,
You nearly got that word I was looking for. You nearly got that word. But you have tried. It's a nice try. Okay, Prince. Prince.
Okay, yeah, all right. So your question, is it directed towards like solving the problem or how you are going to approach the person firsthand?
We are solving a person's problem, actually.
Okay. So you could create um an input, an
Okay.
input that would take the person's gender as well, and then
Okay.
connect it to an if clause that will, if the person is a male, then it goes with the pronoun he when it's giving the output. And if the person is a female, it goes to the pronoun she. Like you get
Okay.
that. So maybe you don't only take their name, but you also take their gender. So enter name, enter
Okay.
gender. So if the gender inputted was male, he blah blah blah. If the or
But,
Mr. blah blah blah. Yes. And if the
but in the
gender
question,
in yeah,
in
all
the
right.
question,
So that's it.
I stated that the person was asked to input the gender and she inputted female. But the problem is that the marital status of the person says that she said single, but the name, the message being printed out had Mrs. attached to her name, and she came to complain to you. And I'm asking,
Oh, okay.
how will you solve that problem?
Oh, okay. So then this one is not just with the name, just that she is unmarried. She's
Yes,
divorced, but it's still referring to her as Mrs. All
thank
right.
you.
Okay. And I'll have to do a 360 and come back to you. I'm coming in.
Okay. Oh, let's not make this the problem of the day. Let's answer this one because the real problem of the day was supposed to come like 5 minutes ago. Anybody else with
Okay.
another?
All right. So here's it.
Okay.
Okay. So then instead of creating, so I've covered that if clause part. You can use another if clause, right?
Remember.
The person may enter their marital status. As you said, she entered single. It means that accepts the input. So you connect it to an if clause that if the marital status is single, then the output should not include what do we call it? A title like Mr. or Mrs., but then rather it should give something else like Miss or whatever. But
Okay.
if it is married, then the output should include that title as well.
Okay. So what in a nutshell, what are you trying to say? From what we have learned today, that what should a programmer go and do? You people. Okay, please, in a nutshell, yeah, one tough of mine, in a nutshell, what should the programmer go back and do? Okay, Isaac.
Please, should he or would he have to properly debt check his algorithm or
Oh,
his program to be able to determine where exactly the problem is coming from?
the whole concept of just checking something is to bring out mistakes. I'm not sure there's a mistake in his program because it's performing. Then the only fact is that the title is being assigned wrongly since she is single. So I'm asking, what should the person go back? You, the program, what should you go back and do? It's a word. It's just a word. You do something to your code. What will you do?
Edit.
Yes, you are correct. But getting to, I want that. I specifically want that word because I spent a whole lot of time talking about it. That I stated it from the beginning, saying that your solution might also be the beginning of a problem for somebody. So when that happens, what must you go and do as a programmer?
So that means it's a problem. So you need to go and fix it. Get it done.
No, brother, you are trying to wrap around the word. I want that word. Yes, I want the word. Come on.
Eh,
You edit it.
We are guided by we guided. We will fight here right now. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Evaluate and modify.
okay, so
And
review.
no, the answer is here.
Hey,
Who can tell me what you have to do?
You modify it. The
You
solution.
just modify. The word
modify.
is modify. Go back and modify your code just to because no longer a problem. It is a solution now. You have provided the
Ah,
solution for the users, but you just have to go back and modify so that it will suit that particular individual.
ah,
Because I'm
simple
sure
like
for
that.
any other person that is inputting marital status as married, the code is working just fine by saying Mrs. But for her, it is not working for her. That means that maybe for her and then the minority who are not married, the title for them is Mrs. as well. But she is the only person who has come to you to complain. So just go back and modify. Please do you agree? Please, do we all agree? Let's all agree. Thumbs up so that we can end the class. Aye. Me pɛ obi ma ne nsa obi ama me saa obi ama me thumbs up na me nkɔ so. Say that I'm waiting for you. Jesus when me ma. Prince said that there's me ma. Isaac said me ma. Rima say she will not give. Ish. That mean you don't agree to it. So if you don't agree to it, then what is your take then? Yes, a man is an obi a man. I mean, ya can be a man and Jedida, please, what is your take on it?
I'm giving thumbs up, but I don't know. It's not showing.
Oh, Rima, let me enable her mic. Rima, what do you think, Rima? Rima, or someone casa. Okay, so that is it. All right. We have spent more time on what was not actually the problem of the day. So, all right, now I wish that you guys will really have any questions to ask me from. I would like that you read through. Just read this small. It's not anything much. But just read it and then come and ask me questions in our next session. I'm expecting the questions. Otherwise, I'll do the questioning. All right. So please make it a must to do that. Please, I hope this evening was an interactive one and everybody got what he or she came here to achieve. If so, a reaction to
Yes.
show that
Please drop slides for us.
I should.
The slides.
I should drop the slides for you. Okay, that is a request from. Is it from everybody or from this particular individual?
No, not from everybody.
Okay, so please, can you send me a hi on WhatsApp so I just forward the slides to you? Since it's not from everybody.
Okay,
Can,
okay.
all right, Jedida, I'm waiting for a hi or something on WhatsApp. So I just forward them to you straight up. Okay, so apart from that, I'm not sure anybody has any question to ask, so we can end the meeting for today. All right, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you too.
It's a privilege to
Nice,
teach.
nice.
Baby, open the card, okay, bye bye. Have a wonderful evening. Go back. Go to the sister
Okay,
Nani.
bye.
Nancy. Go to
Yo,
Nana.
Charlie, man.
Yeah,
Charlie, your wife knows up.
me ending meeting. Stop that.